Yeah, hello and welcome to another update video about VeChain. Yeah, VeChain is a coin I don't cover too often, but it's certainly impressing us with its performance at the moment. Yeah, with VeChain, I'm actually of the view that we might be in a fifth wave extension here. I know it looks like a third wave, but the correction was just not steep enough. It just wasn't strong enough to, in my opinion, correct the entire move off here. So I'm looking at it as a fourth wave. You remember we had a nice entry point down here for anybody who used it. You might still be in the trade, then amazing. I've seen it in the comments that for some people VeChain is actually the largest position. Yeah, I mean, my view is that this was just a fourth wave, because if you look at these the fib retracements here, yeah, it reached only the 23.6 fib level, and it just adds up with a sub wave count as well very nicely. Now, putting the third wave to the top there is not really an option, because this move up is only in 3 waves. And there was the dog just leaving the room after I did after I covered Doge in the previous video. So even if I can't put it at the top, this is the 3-wave move up. Yeah. Therefore, this has to be some kind of a flat pattern, which often happens in a wave 4. So all I'm trying to do here is to justify why I'm counting this as a fourth wave and looking at this as a wave 5 extension. Because the strength would normally suggest is some kind of a third wave. But the thing is here, as you can clearly see, this is a very clear 3-wave move to the upside. So I'm leaning really towards that this was the completion of a third, this was a fourth, and this was just an ABC to the upside in an overshooting B wave, and then we're looking here at an expanded flat pattern, okay, for the wave 4, which often happens in a wave 4, yeah. In a wave 4, especially if it's a very bullish environment, the flat pattern often makes a new price extreme, which it did here. So just to show you the labeling of this corrective wave, I would put an A wave down here, this was a B and the C, yeah. So the B wave often makes a new price extreme but fails to create another impulse. Then it comes down again, and it came down in 5 waves. It's actually spot on. It's actually a very nice structure to work with. A, B, C, yeah? Overshooting B wave. I'll try to provide some education here as well, because I can't always make a video, right, when something happens, but it allows you to learn and to look after this stuff for yourself. So flat patterns often in a wave 4, sideways corrections often in a wave 4. That's why they're often flats, because flat patterns are technically sideways corrections, and you see 3 waves up, so often an overshooting B wave and the wave 4 down. And by the way, let's actually take a look which retracement level the B wave reached. Oops. It would be great if it would be the 1.38 fib retracement. No, I didn't look at it before. Okay, it broke. Yeah, well, it broke briefly, but it actually never really substantially went above it. So that's the key resistance for an overshooting B wave, the 1.38 fib retracement. Okay, so let's assume this was a wave 4. I would have a hard time to justify this as a 1-2-1-2 setup of something. And I think we're now in the 5th wave. Now that allows us now to give us to calculate a target for the 5th wave. How do we do that? First of all, before we do that, I think we are reaching and approaching here significant resistance. And by the way, let me take some of those previous lines out. We want to keep the chart clean, yeah. Take the moving averages out as well. So we are reaching key resistance, structural resistance. So I'd be careful here. I would potentially take some profits, not all, yeah. But that's entirely up to you, yeah. I'd be careful, because we are now approaching this region 3.3 cents. Why is that so important? First of all, it is structural resistance, yeah. This is here, previous wave 4 high, always very relevant, here, and now we're approaching this area. It's highly relevant. And on top of that, the 3.3 cent level, which we are approaching very, very shortly, is the 88.7% fib level. We retested that level before here and bounced off. So pay attention to that level. I can't tell you that we are going to rally through or not. If we do, it would have bullish implications, but there's a high chance that at least we're not going to do this in the very first attempt. Okay, so pay attention. In addition to that, this target area actually, or this resistance actually, is in line with targets for the 5th wave. How do we do that? Well, calculating targets for a fifth, what we can do is we take the length of waves 1 to 3, we go to the low of the fourth, and then we're looking at options, targets. We've got the 1-to-1 ratio, which is already broken, 3.2 cents. Done, check. Reached the first target already. That means be careful, okay? I mean, the very first target was down here, the 61.8 extension, but that was broken anyway, so we're now in the next target range. Next target would then be the 1.23 extension, sorry, the 1.272, which is here at 3.45 cents. Then the 1.38 at 3.55 cents. And then the 1.618 extension at 3.7. This is basically a range where this thing should top, ideally. Yeah, if it's the correct count. Yeah, I mean, I cannot rule out that we're in a third wave, but it would be. But even then, the 1.618 should show some kind of a reaction. So at the moment, I'd rather say we're probably not done yet, but I would pay particular attention to the 3.3 cent level. And if we break above that, these other ones become relevant. Okay, and this is also an area, because afterwards we would be expecting a wave 2, that maybe from this area, because it's so overheated, maybe a fifth wave, a wave 2 short trade might be an option. But I'm normally very careful with shorts, but this is now really getting overboard. Let me go to the daily chart. And we see, okay, now, and that is what's giving us a hint that we're actually in a fifth wave. It's the bearish divergence, okay? I mean, that can still change, but there's a lot of the work to do for VeChain to bring that RSI above 82. That's typically an indication that we're in some kind of a fifth wave. That we see a bearish divergence on the daily. Now, but momentum is still pushing. This is not yet over. I don't think so. I think they're still gonna push. But be aware of those levels, and I'll keep you updated. And then the next high probability entry point would be a buy area in wave 2, which I will provide as soon as we have more clarity that wave 1 has topped. Okay, that's my update about VeChain. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.